which is the vision sensation, while the associated area is usually responsible for interpretation of the sensation, of the modality of sensation. What interpretation means? Explanation of ideas, situations, or whatever, and analysis of these situations. And other example is auditory area. Auditory area is responsible for sensation of the audition, but the auditory association area is responsible for what? Responsible for interpretation or explanation of the ideas and situations that are related with what? With the audition, with the sound we have here. And we have explained that in previous lectures in terms of nervous system. Another important notice we have to speak about today is how can the brain differentiate between the different sensations. We have said previously that all the sensation must be transported to the brain in terms of action potentials. In other words, in terms of electricity potential. So how can we differentiate between different sensations? For example, if I turn my head to that side and somebody try to touch me up here, I feel the sensation of touch. And if somebody has made pressing or pressure, I feel sensation of pressure. If there's something cold on my hand, I feel with cold, and whatever. So how can the brain differentiate between those sensations in spite of the truth that all the sensations must be transported in terms of what? In terms of action potential. This depends on different factors, on different truths. First of these truths are the repetitions or frequencies of action potentials. Frequencies, how many potentials reaches to the brain from specific sensory. The second factor is the law of projection. Law of projection means that the tracts of sensory nerves reaches to specific areas in the body, and we have spoken about the tracts. So for example, the sensory fields or sensory receptors in the hand here will travel to the cortex of the brain throughout specific tract and reach to specific area. For example, here to the sensory area. So this area of the brain, which is related or connected with a specific tract, will translate that action potentials as sensation of touch. And also the same is true, for example, here in the visual cortex. So we have the cones and rods, the receptors for light in the eye. So when the action potentials reaches from these tracts to the visual area will explain or will process these informations or these action potential as a vision, because throughout the law of projection. An additional example about that: if somebody has his arm being amputated, in amputated persons, amputated arm, cut arm. So if in that person who has amputated arm, if specific nerve tract is stimulated, so the person will feel what? Will feel a pain in his arm in spite of the truth that his arm is being amputated. And it is called ghost arm. Okay, so this will explain and tell us about the law of projection, and the explanation of different sensations depend largely